Welcome back to this portion of the build. Just going to talk a bit about the radio system, as well as we'll be working on the mast and the keel bulb and a bit of the rudder. So here's the radio that comes with the kit. It is a J4C12. It's a 4-channel radio, 2.4 gigahertz from Joysway. Very basic 4-channel radio. Nice thing about it is it is a mode 2, so the sail control is on the left and the rudder on the right. The little control knobs are inside the battery compartment. Just a note, it only takes 4 batteries, so it's one of the newer ones where it doesn't require as much power to run them. It is matched up with the J412R 2.4 receiver 2 as well. Just a very quick comment. It is a basic radio. However, if you think that this won't be good for range or anything like that, there's quite a few guys I sail with, and they have absolutely no problem with the range of this radio when we're doing our normal sail days and race days. So it is a good radio. It's a great entry level 2.4 system for this boat. And well, you're getting into this for less than $200, so with it to come with the radio and all the servos and everything ready to go is pretty awesome. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on the keel. We're going to work on the main mast and some of the rudder area. Okay. All right, let's work on the bulb, keel bulb. So it's in this part of the box here. Be very careful with taking it out. It is a fairly slippery item, and it's not square, so it can roll off your table. And you definitely do not want that doing something like that to your hand. So be very careful with it. It is a very sharp item. 2 ends of it, that part right there is where the keel fin goes into. And this part here is where the Allen bolt goes into. All right, so as for class rules, you're not allowed to fill that hole after you put the bolt in or cover it. Okay, so you guys don't get too tricky with that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into our little bag of goodies, which is on my kit was found there. And we'll just have a very quick look here at things that we're going to need. So in there, you'll see 2 foam pieces. That's for your stand, okay? So keep that for your stand. This here is a cord to do your rigging and tie in your sails and stuff like that. They give you an extra elastic. This is a hatch cover. This is the small one that goes right there. Okay. They also give you the masthead crane piece there. And you'll see some Allen keys, which is great. And in this little baggie here, you see a bunch of Boise's, Bowsies, and Allen bolts. Okay. Definitely don't want to lose that. That's for your rudder. Allen bolt, these 2 here are for your keel. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use some of our thread lock, and we're going to put some on the keel bulb, and we're going to screw in the keel fin and keel bulb. All right, so there's the keel with the keel bulb attached. Make sure you shake up the thread lock before you add it in there, and just pour a strip on there and tighten this up. When you are tightening this together, don't over tighten it. The thread lock will hold the nut in place, and just don't over tighten it, because that is only aluminum alloy. So if you strip it, you're not going to have much fun trying to get that bulb on. So it'll stay. Once you feel that it's in there, the portion's tight enough so it won't go anymore, just stop. Okay, guys? All right. So there you have it. There's you're almost done. And we'll work on the mass. Okay, so we're going to work on the main mass here. This portion here is found in the front of your box over there. These two pieces are in the bottom of your box. This one is for the bottom of the mass. This one is for the top of the mass. Okay, for this build, I recommend you using a fairly straight edge. This piece here is from a molding channel. You find it at a hardware store. Basically, it just kind of goes down between the tile and your wood channel goes in here. But it's a straight edge, and it's gonna help me keep this mass straight when it's setting. Okay, so what we're gonna use in this build is my trusty Gorilla Glue. You can use epoxy, nothing wrong with that. It's just I'm indoors right now, and I'd like to kind of keep that epoxy smell out of my house right now and keep my wife happy. So also you're going to need some painter's tape, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it here. Basically, I'm going to take my glue. I'm going to do the top part of the mass first. So I'm going to put some nice portion of Gorilla Glue on there. You don't have to get too heavy or else it tends to squeeze out. Okay, so I got my glue in there. And I'm just going to put it into the mast area. And as I'm putting it in there, I'm twisting it. So I'm making sure the glue gets in there nicely. Okay, so as soon as that's done, I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to hold that in place while it's setting. And also, to make sure it sets nice and straight, I'm going to put it in my channel. And to hold it together in there, I've got some little bits of styrofoam. And that's going to create a bit of a pressure fitting in there, just to keep it straight. Okay, so I'm going to let that set. All right, so we have our top part of the mass all set into the channel, and I've taped around it just to make sure it doesn't split out. Now we're going to do the bottom here. You'll notice on the bottom there's a little ring here that's sitting about 2/3 of the way up. The part that you're going to glue is going to be the shorter part. And the reason for that is because your main boom is going to come and fit in like that. So from there, it goes into your hull on this portion here. So you definitely don't want to glue that. You want to glue the shorter end. Glue the shorter end. Okay, so we'll just hit that. A bit of Gorilla Glue. Nice thing about Gorilla Glue too is that it actually does expand. So when it sets, it helps create a bit of a tight setting in there. So same deal. So we're going to get it into the bottom of the mass, and as we're putting it in, we are turning it. And make sure the glue is soaking in around the fitting as putting it in. All right, That's in there, so there's a bit of excess there, so we'll just clean that up a little bit. Wipe that off. That sure it doesn't get on the nice little table of ours. And we'll take our painter's tape again. And on this one, we're going to make sure it's in tight. So I'm going to just push down on it as I'm wrapping it. So there we have it. All right, so that's that. We're going to let that set overnight, and we'll come back to it for the rest of the build on the mast.